Hi there, good afternoon. I'm live here today in front of you, half an hour to my usual time, 12 o'clock. As just finished with finished doing a therapy work with one of my patients. My name is Dr. Ashish. I support women going through fertility issues for at least 2 years or over with complex cases, whether they're trying to conceive naturally or they're trying to conceive with IVF. And today's topic is about intermittent fasting and how it affects your hormones and how it affects eventually your fertility. And intermittent fasting is about eating, right? And you are what you eat, you are what you can eat and absorb, you are what you can eat and absorb and assimilate. So it is all of that. It's not that you can have the best food, but if you are not absorbing that food, you will not be able to get that nutrition in your system, in your body. And there are a lot of things about intermittent fasting that people are looking into, especially to do with especially those women who are trying to manage weight while they're trying to conceive, whether it's with PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, or it is just not without polycystic ovarian syndrome. They just would like to manage their weight or would like to reduce their weight and be a healthy weight for fertility. Because for fertility, you need to be in that optimum weight window, whatever that weight window is for you. So it is not a set weight window for everybody, for all women. So it is whatever is suitable for your body and constitution and your shoulder width type as well. So it is, it is what is suitable for you, that weight. And so when you are underweight, it is not good for your hormones. So hormones do not behave very well because we need certain amount of fat and the ratios of fats in our bodies as well to perform well in terms of fertility and to have good hormones, and for women also to have good healthy period, which is an indicator of your hormones as well. So if you're underweight, that is affected. If you're overweight, that also gets affected. If you don't exercise at all, and eating constantly, that will be affected. And if you excessively exercise, even then your hormones and fertility is affected. So it is about finding that right balance for yourself, that right space, that window, the upper and the lower limit for yourself of intermittent fasting as well. And fasting is about eating foods and not eating them at certain times. And intermittent fasting, as we know, it has become quite fashionable as well and quite popular in the recent last 2-3 years. I've been hearing more about intermittent fasting. And it is what is a good type of intermittent fasting. Yeah. What is good for your hormones and for your fertility. So for your hormones, you need to have a consistent fasting pattern. If you are one of those who want to look into fasting intermittently, or it is also about restricting your food intake over a certain number of hours. If you are somebody who wants to do that, then what is the best way to do it in order to balance your hormones? And one thing I probably will be repeating myself. I've said this before. This is not a short-term solution. If you're looking for a week's, what can happen in a week or 2 weeks, this is definitely not for those people. This is for those where you are looking at long-term solution. You're looking at lifestyle change that is going to affect you going forward, balancing your hormones for now, for fertility, and later when you don't necessarily need your fertility, you don't need to be you are not conceiving, or you don't want to have once you have completed your family and you don't want any more kids. So what are the number of hours that you how many number of hours you should eat over, and what kind of foods you should be eating? So it is, intermittent fasting is about what is the kind of ideal number of hours within which you should eat, and what you should eat. So um, it is about the balance, the good balance of the carbohydrate, fats, and protein. And that good balance, again, is according to your energy requirements, is according to your body weight, your body frame, your mindset, and also your constitution, as we call, from Ayurvedic point of view, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, what kind of body and constitution you have. You have slow digestion or very fast and strong digestion. According to that, these windows will change and shift. So one of the things which is kind of universal truth for most people as far as health is concerned and hormones and fertility is concerned is to not have dinner after 7 o'clock. So to have dinner before 7. And what this is one of the things that I probably highlight. If one thing you could change about your how you want to eat food and how you want to have fasting period for yourself is to eat dinner before 7, to finish dinner eating before 7 o'clock in the evening. And when you want to, when you're looking into fasting, then from that point, so if you have had dinner around 7 o'clock in the evening, then you can extend it and not have a breakfast very early in the morning, and you extend that period going into up to about 12 or 1 o'clock lunchtime. So you will be extending that fasting period. When you're sleeping, you're naturally fasting. Yeah. But fasting, as it is, technically is when you, it's not about when you are not eating. It is about when you have taken the last bite. After that, you still have about 4 to 5 hours for an adult to digest that food. And that is when the real fasting internally is happening for you, right? So from 7 o'clock, if you had finished eating dinner at 7, from 7 till about 12 is most of the food is emptied from your system. That's when your internal system is actually fasting from that point. And then you can extend it in the morning and have good amount of lunch and eat within that window of between 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. or 12 p.m. to 7 p.m., about 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours of that window. But again, this has to fit in with your lifestyle as well. What kind of job you do, what kind of time you have for exercise, it fits with all of that. And as I said, it's a long-term solution. We are looking at months. And also when you want to start intermittent fasting, then and if you are looking into doing it as a lifestyle change, then transition into it over a period of a month or so. Slowly transition over a month would be a good time to transition over. Don't just start from one day going from you're eating good big 3 meals and eating, I don't know, between 7 in the morning till 7, 8 in the evening and through the day as well. From that going straight into intermittent fasting. So don't do that. Transition over a period of time. Give body and mind time to adjust to new strategy, new regime, perhaps also the foods that you might be eating. Yeah. So it is about when you eat and it is about what you eat. And especially for fertility and for you to balance your hormones, you need the good balance of fatty acids, you need the good balance of fats that you can take. And internally, you need to have that good balance. And that is going to come from consistent food habits and what you are eating. And that again comes back to your constitution, who you are as a person, what kind of digestion you have. And then based on that, are you a cold person or a warm person, a hot person? And what kind of foods then you can eat accordingly so that you can absorb the maximum amount of nutrition from the amount of food that you're taking. It is not about taking huge amount of food in order to have good amount of nutrition. You need optimal amount of food, but you need to have good digestion and good absorption in your system so that you can absorb those nutrients. So for intermittent fasting, when you're trying to get pregnant or you're trying to balance your hormones and to have good quality periods where you're bleeding, where there is fresh bleeding through the periods and not as many clots, or there is less pain, and there is a good flow, for that happens when you have balanced hormones. And that also happens when you have this doing it consistently. So look for that window for yourself, whether it's from 10 to 6 or whether it's from 12 to 8 for yourself for intermittent fasting, and the kind of foods that you are eating within that time frame, and the amount of exercise that you're doing to make it more wholesome, and also how your mind is working through all of that. Don't forget the mind factor. Yeah, it is crucial. When your mind is working and busy and under stress, you do require more supply of glucose to your brain. And whereas when you are more restful and you're working at your good pace and you're not rushing around, you need your mind is not using as much glucose. So it is about balancing it over a longer period of time, transitioning into it in a month, or even take 2 months if it is something which is a complete different lifestyle for you, and then um, using that window of eating. What is that window for you and how it fits into your lifestyle, and definitely not taking dinner after 7 p.m. So just few tips which I am also learning as well from neuroscientists, listening to a lot of discussions, and I'm giving you the best that is suitable for fertility and for your hormones. Okay, thank you for listening. For those who are giving thumbs up and also supporting, please do share this information for those who are trying to get pregnant, women who have been trying for a while to manage their weight with or without PCOS, or even otherwise, and want to be healthier. Or if you have delivered and you want to get into healthier cycle of eating for yourself, so you can look into, you can share this with those people. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon. Have a great weekend.